My name is Barb Hume. My Dungay name is Kutana. I would say Kutana Oye. I was given my Southern Shoshone name. It's a name that's been in the Huchai family for many years. There's probably about 500 people on the Huchai family. And the first question was about beading and about sewing. I started sewing, I think I was like about 6 or 7 years old. I come from a very large family. My grandmother's name was Annie Ned. She's very well known in the Yukon. And so I had the opportunity of living with her before I went to school. I went to residential school. I left about 6 years old. But before I went to school, I lived with my grandmother. And the reason was because my mother had a child almost every year. She had 14 of us. And so there was always two babies, maybe a newborn and a couple of toddlers. So I got to live with my grandmother, and she taught me very well. She taught me how to sew, bead, which I bead today. I do it mostly for healing. That's one of the main reasons right now, because my husband and I lost our son 3 years. It's going to be 3 years ago. 3 years now, and so I use sewing as healing. I make regalia. I make regalia like vests and dresses out of moose hide and Milton. And mainly I've done it for potlatches. And it was because my mother and my grandmother and my aunties, potlatches was very important to them, and so it is to me. I make sure that when we're dealing with a family, making a 1-year party for a family member that we lost, like say about a year ago, then we would have a potlatch, and we would, because we're raven, crow / frog, we would honor the opposite clan, which would be the wolf or killer whale or eagle, and we would give them for witnessing. And we would have a grave site, a memorial, put a gravestone on our loved one, and then we would have a big feast, and we'd have giveaways, and we'd honor those people that helped us, say the year before, that helped us put our loved one away. And so that's what most of the sewing I do right now. I'm just learning how, I'm going to be 74 years old, so I'm just learning how to sew for selling. And because I've mainly, I've worked full time, and for probably about 5 or 6 decades, and so I'm working. I've never had much time to sew full time, so I've only mainly sewed for potlatches. And today I'm cutting out a vest for a potlatch. I'm doing it. It's for a young wolf male, and I'm actually cutting 2 out, and I'm hoping to put it together today. The beadwork will be done by their family members. So I did have some heirloom type patterns that have been passed down from my paternal grandma and my maternal grandma, and I use them too as part of my healing process. I just the little the eagle the eagle head that has the 2 flowers on it, that you liked, little girl. You liked it very well. That was my maternal grandmother's pattern. So I put that together, and that helps me to remember my grandmother and know that even though our people have left, our ancestors have left the earth, they are still with us in our heart, and we know their presence. They're here with us, helping us every step of the way. I don't only sew with, I don't only bead. Like I say, I sew with Milton and skin, moose hide, and deer hides. I also sew with a lot of fur, so I make fur hats, fur like mitts and moccasins and mucklucks. I have in the past made wedding dresses and bridal, like the bridesmaids gowns. I think my biggest project was doing 5 bridesmaids gowns for 6 bridesmaids. So that was my biggest job, but that was all with silk and satin. I made graduation regalia for graduates, both male and female. I've made dresses with skin or with chiffon and satin and other material. I've made them, and I've done it for free. That my hopes was to train the young people. If they were getting it for free, they needed to know how to sew. So I do a lot of teaching as well. So I do it for healing, and I sew for like teaching, so that that we have our younger generation to carry on what we have learned. So it's not just about sewing, it's about learning the stories that go behind it, and you're making, there's always a story behind like the beading and why you do it and so forth. So, but mainly I want to teach the younger generation. That's why I do it. It's why I still do things for free. But like I said, I'm starting to learn how to charge people. So I have some of the little flowers that you've seen, and they were done by children. I bought them just to support what they were doing, because I really believe that they need to feel good about their sewing, and that they've actually made money from it. And so now I'm reselling those little beadwork. But so, and I gift a lot of my sewing. If I see something, I think I saw a young dancer in a conference I went to for veterans, and there was a little Mohawk girl. She was in Montreal, and she was dancing. I think she had to be about maybe 5 years old, maybe 4 or 5. She was very young, and she was dancing. So I had this little earring that I had purchased, and I thought I'd gift it to her, and she was so happy. So yeah, I'm going to continue. Like I said, I'm going to be 74, and I'm going to continue as long as my physical body can, withstand all the sewing and beading. 'Cause, when you get older, arthritis sets in and so forth. But I think that was my greatest passion. And just in closing, I want to say that you really have to love what you do to excel in anything that you're going to be good at. And the same thing with sewing. Don't do it halfway, just do it. And don't do it for the sake of doing it, but do it because you you're passionate about it and you have love for it. And yeah, I think that's me in a nutshell. Thank you.